Hey everyone, welcome back to Mini Bike Mike's Garage. As you can see, I've got a Honda ST90 up on the table, and some of you may remember this bike. I built it earlier this spring, spring of 2024, and I rode this bike 105 miles when I hosted a subscriber ride back in April of 2024. And I outfitted it with a little, I think it's a Zongshin 125cc engine. And it did great. Made the whole ride, no issues or anything like that. It hits about 55 mile an hour, something along those lines, on flat ground and not having to fight a headwind or anything. I'm getting ready to maybe do something with this bike that I kind of like to have maybe just a little bit more oomph. So here's what I'm going to do. I bought a TB Parts, I don't know if you want to call it a big bore kit. I think it turns this 125 into like 138cc. I'll try and come up with the link to where I bought this. All this was bought as a kit from TB Parts. It comes with a new cylinder, piston, rings, wrist pin, all that good stuff, and then the gaskets, head gaskets and so forth to do it. So the reason I'm wanting to put this on here, I am contemplating riding this bike to West Virginia in September. Some of you who've been around for a while might remember that in April of 2023, I visited 5 subscribers with the Thirsty Turtle, me and Mama Warner. We took bikes and I went and rode with some subscribers. And one of the subscribers that I rode, the very last one on that trip, was a guy by the name of Ben in Green Bank, West Virginia. And if you saw the video, we had a fantastic time. It was pouring down rain the first 10 miles, but we went about 60 miles in some of the most rugged terrain, beautiful terrain that I've ever been through. And while we were on that ride, I made the comment to Ben that, wow, I bet this is just stunning in the fall with the leaf colors and so forth. Because like I said, we were there in April. And so Ben has decided to put together a fall ride. And he's called it Ride the Divide, I think is what he's called it. And he's hosting and he's inviting anybody with a small bore bike that wants to come and ride with him on September 21st. It's Saturday, September 21st. It's in the Green Bank / Cass, West Virginia area. As we get a little bit closer, I'll get you more details. There's no fees to ride in this. The only thing Ben asks is that your bike be street legal, insurance, and all those sorts of things, and wear a helmet. So other than that, you just bring your bike and ride. And so, but I want to ride the bike to West Virginia, which is about to his location, which is from where I'm at, somewhere, depending on the route I take, somewhere 450 to 500 miles. So I'm actually going to, obviously going to have to do it over a couple days' time. I could do it with the bike just the way it is. Obviously, we rode 125cc bikes around Lake Michigan and didn't have any trouble. I kind of like to, couple things, kind of like to have a little more giddy up. And the other thing is, I've actually never done this before. Never did one of these big bore kits. So what the heck? Let's give it a try. So enough talking. I'm going to tear into this thing. I'll probably go ahead and just kind of speed through getting the engine guard, carburetor intake off, exhaust, and get it down to the good stuff here that you want to see. And then I may just fast forward through the rest of that and then bring it back to normal speed when we get to here. Well, I've sped through a couple things. I've taken the exhaust off, the engine guard off, and got this carburetor mostly loose. And I'm about ready to pull the timing, the cam gear and the chain, and I'm realizing that all of a sudden I bet you I'm going to have to take the front tire, at least turn it, do something. I bet this head's not going to clear coming off of there. We're gonna find out here in just a second. So yeah, so I guess you know, this video partially is to invite any of you guys that want to ride, that are, you know, in the West Virginia area, to come join me and join Ben and join his ride. I think we had a really good time the last time I went out there, so I'm kind of anticipating it being a very similar ride. All right, make sure I get all my orientation of stuff here. There's a copper washer on that one. As I stated, I don't have a whole lot of experience doing this, fellas, so if I do something in the wrong step or something like that, I apologize. You know, this isn't particularly a tutorial of how to do this. This is just you watching me do it to my own bike. There, finally, gosh. Okay. This is a brand new engine. The only miles on it are the 105 plus maybe another 10 or 15 that I did prior to the ride when I put this engine in this bike. Yeah, it's not gonna come off. I gotta watch. I don't want to tear. I don't know that it gave me a new gasket for here. I certainly don't want to tear this up. Don't think that's going to gain me anything. It gained me a little bit, but not to get off. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to take a second and take the front tire loose, or put that back on the way it was on there. I'm going to try and turn the wheel maybe and see if that gets me enough clearance here to get that head off there, but I got to unstrap it and do those sorts of things. So give me a minute. I don't know that if it's going to gain us enough, but I wound up just taking the 3 bolts that hold the fender on. Let's see if that gets us. Oh, it will. Good, so we don't have to pull the whole tire. All right, that's awesome. I'm trying to kind of show this a little bit in real time so that you guys can see kind of how long it took. I started at about 1 p.m. when I started. That's about what time it was. And so we're at 1:17 right now. Don't run. Probably blocking view. I'm trying to get the little idler out of there. Okay. So I think we're ready to pull the cylinder. I want to make sure, although it gave me new gaskets, I want to make sure I don't tear these up. I've got a head gasket up here and I got a base gasket. Oh, 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 oh. O-ring there. All right. That looks good. Okay. All right. I'll set this over here on the bench. We'll come over here in just a minute. Let's go ahead. I forgot to grab a needle nose to get the little clip out of here. Okay, there's that. And that will allow us to push the wrist pin out. Uh-oh, why is it not going out? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Well, all right, watch yourself. We pulled that out. Put that back. Okay, so that's the disassembled part. So I'm gonna move you guys over here to the bench, and we will kind of compare parts. Maybe throw a micrometer on the on the piston, and that sort of thing, and see just how much larger the new piston is from this one, and so forth. So save a little time. I went ahead and opened up the gasket. So it looks like you just get a new exhaust gasket, a head gasket, and a base gasket. And this head gasket is actually steel. Interesting. Okay. Now, this whole thing doesn't come with any instructions. Just so that you know, you're not getting anything with it. You're just getting parts in boxes. So you're just kind of winging it. This is the new cylinder. Okay. Oh boy. There's the old cylinder. About 54, 53.9 to 57, 56.9 millimeters. So going from a 54 to a 57 millimeter bore. I think this, obviously, because we're not changing the crank or anything like that, we're using the same head. This, these are the same distance. The stroke's all the same. Now, there are a couple different kits depending on which cylinder, which stroke you have. You got to make sure you get the right one. This is a 79 millimeter. Yeah, so these are like 79 millimeter thickness. I think they also make one that's 68 or something like that. So make sure you get the correct one that came with the kit. Just going to go something like that, I guess. We do have a pin here that we need to move, or I'm not sure if you call that a pin or what that is. I moved it from the stock cylinder to the new cylinder here, and I think we've got to do the same on the bottom side, or actually be the top. All right, let's not worry about that gasket for a second. So I've got two pins up here. This one's going to come out pretty easy, like that. This one's going to give me a little more of a fight. I certainly hate to grab it with a pair of needle nose, but that's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, it's going to come out fairly easy. And it's going to go in that one. All right, so we should have all the alignment pins. I think we might be done with that cylinder now. So how? like I said, there's no instructions. Wonder which is up and which is down. Or can it be flipped? It probably can't be flipped, can it? No, because it's only going to fit one direction. You can't flip it, I guess. Yeah, it has to go like that. And this one is going to go like that. Okay, let's move to the piston here. So you've got to put the rings on the piston. There's a wrist pin. Here are the clips. Should have got a pair of scissors. Piston itself. Wow. It's a lot. It's got speed holes in it and everything. Wow. It's got a dome to it where this one doesn't seem to have as much dome. How does that work with the... I guess that'll work. We're going to find out, aren't we? Okay. Okay, I was going to say, are we missing something? There they are. I thought there was only one there. Okay. Do I know what I'm doing? Absolutely not. I really don't, guys. I've never done this. There it went, right there. All right, so there we go. There's that one, finally. All right, is there a difference between the top one and the bottom one? One looks like it's silver on the outside, one looks like it's black on the outside. I'm gonna shut you down. I'm gonna Google it because I don't want to screw it up too bad. So hang on, I'll be right back. So I took a minute, Googled it, went to the TB Parts website, and the black one goes in the center, the middle ring, and then the silver one is on the top, according to them. Okay, let's see if we can put a retainer clip in here. Without launching it all across the room. That's pretty good. I'm going to get a little bit of oil for lubing that up just a little bit. Okay, that looks good. let's take that and see if it will fit onto our connecting rod. All right, I've got a clip in. All right, let's see. So, okay, we've got the O-ring here still stuck to there. I'm actually going to go ahead and put the base gasket on. Since it didn't want to seem to stick to the cylinder. So the gasket covers the hole. You know what? I guess we're just going to fit it on there like that. It covers the O-ring. Hopefully that's correct. I guess we'll know right away if we've got a leak, won't we? Seems like that should have a cutout that it fits into. That's what it did on this one. What to do, what to do, what to do? You know, when I said this kit didn't come with any instructions, I'm sure if you go online, it's got all kinds of instructions, but... Okay, so that O-ring is in a recessed area. It almost feels like that needs to be cut, trimmed, so it goes around that O-ring. What do you think? Think that's what I should do? I feel like that's what I should do. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. Now I've got the... But what I'm talking about is that this gasket, this O-ring, it's got a bigger diameter than that hole in that gasket, and I feel like the gasket should go around it. I'm gonna take a minute and cut it. So I trimmed that little gasket to fit around that O-ring. I'm ready to put the cylinder on. Be curious to see if I can how many attempts this is going to take. There's the first ring. All right, let's make sure the second one is a different rotation. Where's it at? Okay, let's put it over here. Really helps if your eyesight's better than mine. There's the second ring. There we go. Okay, O-ring still there. That looks pretty good. Now, I did not mention it. When you put the piston in, make sure it's marked in for intake. Make sure you put that up toward the intake. Okay, we'll tighten that up in a bit. Where you at? All right, got the roller in there. Yeah, I want to make sure that I put this head gasket on the right direction. Can I screw it up? Did we talk about this a minute ago? Is it even possible to put it on wrong? It's not really possible, is it? It has to go on this way. I don't think there's any other way to put it on, so I guess I don't have to really look that up. Okay. Now there's an O-ring that goes right there. This obviously has a spot for a big O-ring, but they don't give you the O-ring. My original engine did not have one. I don't have a big O-ring in that spot. Let me look in a couple other gasket kits I've got and see if I've got something that will fit right there. Well, I found an O-ring and I put it in this little spot right here. So I'm hoping... Oh no. Ah. The pins. Yeah, there they are. The pins that hold the rockers in have slid over. Go back over there. Come on. There we go. I'll be surprised if this runs at all with the kind of the half-assery I've done here. Yeah. So right at an hour right now. It's 2:03. I started right at 1. Okay. Now I need a Need an Allen wrench to tighten that one down. What do you think chances are here that it doesn't leak oil and doesn't lose compression? Probably slim to none. Well, come on. Okay. So we're going to be a few teeth off. So I need one more. That might be pretty close. There. Okay. Now I'm just going to turn it to where it lines up with the bolt holes. Nope. 2 of the 3. 2 of the 3. There they are. Well, what do you think? I've got some compression. That looks pretty good. All right, I need to find a Allen wrench to button that up. Then go through and tell you what, I'm gonna take the spark plug out and let's kick it over a few times. Make sure that we don't have an issue with anything hitting. Okay, I'm going to real quickly button it back up, put all the parts back on it, and then we will bring you back when we're ready to fire this thing up. Well, we'll see how this goes. I have now taken an engine that, oh, wrong way, that I was 100% confident in, and made changes to it to something that I'm not sure if I did right. So we're obviously going to have to put a lot of miles on this bike between now, which is August 4th, and September 21st, or actually September 19th or so, before I head out to Green Bank, because I'm not going to head out not knowing that this is a reliable an engine that I can take off with. Excuse me, I'll walk in front of you here. So I guess the first thing we got to do is start it or see if it will start. All right, see what you guys are looking at. All right, here we go. Let's see. This is first start with this new cylinder and piston. See if it pumps oil all over the place or what all it does here. Well, it started. I'm going to let that run for a little bit. I'm going to put a fan on it. Make sure it doesn't get too hot. It didn't immediately pump oil out, so I guess that's good. Alright, I'm going to let that warm up a little bit. Kind of get broken in just slightly before I take it down the street. So it is currently 2:23, so that took us an hour and a half or so. Alright, I'll be back in just a few minutes after I let this run and kind of break in just slightly. Alright, it's now 2:30, so I'm going to shut it off. So it ran for, what, 7 minutes? It was 2:23, I think, when we started, so I've let it run for 7 minutes. I don't see anything dripping or leaking anywhere as of right now. So I'm going to let it sit for about 10 minutes, let it cool back off, and then we're actually going to run it down the street just a little bit just to see what it does. Well, it's been a good 10 minutes. Let's fire it back up. I don't see any kind of drips under it, so I'm really pleased with that. I thought for sure I would have some kind of oil leak. Alright, I'm just going to take it down for a nice leisurely stroll down the street and back. I'm going to try to not over rev it. You guys know me probably better than that, but let's take it for a rip. obviously on just a little short rider like that, I can't tell if there's been any kind of performance difference in it going from the 54 millimeter piston to the 57. But over the next month, I plan to put a bunch of miles on this bike in preparation for riding it nearly 1,000 miles. It'd be 450 plus miles out there, probably 100 miles there, 60 miles for the ride, and then some other small stuff I might do, and then 450 miles back. So I've got to have this thing ready to go for a good 1,000-mile trip in September. So I'll be doing lots of miles between now and then, and I'll bring you along on some of those videos. But for right now, I think we're going to wrap it up on this one. Like I said earlier, this is not a tutorial. Please don't follow what I did to do this. I don't have any clue if I did anything correctly or not. I just kind of winged it. So anyway, guys, have a great day. I'll see you on the next video.